Hey guys, I want to talk today about the home page. You know, that page that most people really consider to be the most important page on their website. But the fact is, the home page is not your most important web page. Your customer's landing page is the most important page on your site. And notice the difference here. It's your home page versus the customer's landing page. And if you aren't familiar with landing pages are simply the entrance points to your website, which are the pages that someone comes to first when they visit your website. Which means that if the first page that a person lands on when they come to your site is the home page, then yes, the home page is your landing page. But that could also be a blog post. So if a person comes to a blog post and that's where they land on your site, that is your customer's landing page, that blog post. A product page or any other page can be your customer's landing page. And so I really want to drive this point home. Again, we want to step out of this idea that the home page is the most important page. It's not. Your customer's landing page is. And that's because your customer's first impression can happen anywhere. You have no control over where someone comes to your website. And so, you have to really be able to establish and understand that strong landing pages are going to be the overwhelming reason for the success of your site. And a landing page doesn't have to be anything super fancy. Again, it could be a blog post or it could be your home page. But the point is that you're focused on the customer's landing page and not specifically your home page. Too many times I've seen it where a company will come and they'll say, hey, we need a redesign. We need our home page to look better. And the reality is it's not really the home page. It could be the other pages throughout the site that need to be addressed more than the home page. And so I just want us to be able to crush this notion that the home page is the most important page on your site. As it relates to landing pages in general, whether it's your home page, a blog post, or whatever it is, we have to recognize that each of those pages need to work by specific guidelines. And so I have kind of 4 of those for you to work with today. The first principle being we really need to keep our pages focused on a core idea or a core message. And that comes through in language form addressing a specific problem. So if somebody's coming to your contact page, then this core idea behind that contact page would be that contact page needs to help them and facilitate getting in touch with your business. It doesn't need to be pitching them accessory products or services. It needs to be focused on that core idea. We don't want to try to solve too many problems on a specific page. If we do that, then and we step away from that core idea, then you can induce what's called choice paralysis, which means I'm giving you too many choices, and because there's too many, I don't know what's important and I can't pick. So focusing in on a core idea per page is very important. If you're talking about your home page, then communicating the core idea of your businesses should be there. So it doesn't mean that you can't have different products lined up. It just means that the core message there on your homepage may be communicating, we have lots of products and here are those products. The core message again being on the homepage, we sell multiple products. Again, on the contact page, it's different. Your core message isn't contact us plus we have a lot of products. Your core message is just contact us. So keeping that home page or that landing page focused in on what's important is really going to help you launch toward being more successful and drive your customer, again, using the language of I want to solve their problem. The second piece to all this is having a strong call to action. Now, we've talked about this a lot, but essentially the call to action is the thing that you want somebody to do on that page. So your call to action on the blog post Your objective there is to get them to read. When they get to the bottom of the page, you want them to click that share and go off to Facebook or Twitter or Pinterest or whatever it is. The call to action at the bottom is, hey, if you enjoyed this, share it with your friends. That would be the call to action, maybe on a blog post. On the contact page again, maybe it's click the button to schedule a service, or it could be an offline action, such as on the contact page, the call to action could be call us, right? Maybe there's an emergency situation. If you're that plumber and the faucet's leaking downstairs and the customer's home, they want to call you, not talk to a robot. So we have to understand that our call to action isn't just online stuff. It can also be offline actions as well. But we need to, importantly, on a landing page, always have some sort of next step lined up for someone. And that next step is called your call to action. Third, we need to get rid of this notion that you can build your landing page and it's just going to work. We can't assume anything's going to perform and give us our desired result, whether that's more sales, new leads, or spreading an idea, for example, or sharing an idea. So how do we reduce those assumptions? How do we overcome this, I'm just going to assume it's going to work? Well, you can do that through what's called split testing or A/B testing, where it is let's say you take your landing page and you say, I want to test out, I'm assuming on this landing page that my buttons are perfect. But if I don't want to assume anything, let's say, I could say for those buttons, I want one to be green and one to be red. Everything else on the page is the same. But over here, we have the different colors. And then based on splitting up the traffic, so it's a split test, right? 50% of my traffic over here that comes to the page, 50% over there. And basically this helps me send percentages of traffic to each page. And then I can look at the results and say, which page performed better? Which one got the most clicks on that button based on the button color change? And so if I have that information, I can say, I'm not assuming that the color is right. And then you can see lots of interesting results from that kind of thing. There's a lot of studies that have been done that have shown really shocking results. Ultimately, they come down to this. The pages that have the best words and communication outperform those that look the prettiest. And so, to kind of further this point, something that might shock you, right, is that there was this A/B test that was done where they had two forms. One form, the only real difference was it had a badge that said this page is secure. So they put that badge on there thinking that the conversions would go up. In fact, that badge did not perform well at all compared to the page that didn't have the "We're Secure" badge. So in that example, you might have assumed that the one with the badge, or the green badge that says this page is secure, send us your information, would have worked out, but actually it caused the person to think, hey, why are you telling me this is a secure page? Am I about to purchase something? When in fact the form wasn't about purchasing at all. So you can't assume you know what that badge is going to induce in a customer. So let's not assume anything and let's test things over time. So that's another thing that you can do with your landing pages is test them, and primarily you're going to be testing things like your call to action and different aspects, elements, whatnot of your page to see if it's creating the result that you want. Fourth, this is going to sound kind of cheesy, but it's very true, which is you got to work by principles, not shortcuts. We're always looking for that thing that's just going to push us up, that one little quick tweak that we can just make and it's just going to really accelerate us. We want to take these shortcuts. But the reality is there are no shortcuts when it comes to all this stuff. There's just too many factors and it's too complicated. From button colors, text, images, videos, the layout of your page, the design of your page, to customer aspects like their relationships and their desires and wants and emotions. All that stuff plays in, which makes it really hard to say, hey, I'm just going to do a shortcut here to try to bypass some things. So shortcuts just really don't work in the SEO world and the landing page world and just regular life. Shortcuts rarely give us the results that we want unless we just get lucky. So those are the principles to help us create those landing pages that are the most important part of our site. You know, I was thinking about just a good kind of analogy to give you. And the thing that came to mind almost instantly was the story of Scooby-Doo and the gang when they're chasing the monster and the villain to try to figure out the mystery. And as they're chasing, they go into the house and it has this hallway with doors along all the way along the side of the hallway. And Scooby and the gang will run through one door and they'll come out some other random door you weren't expecting. And the same for the villain. You never know which door is going to open and who or what's going to come out. And so that's the way we have to think about our websites. There's no way to really know where the customer is going to show up or why. I mean, we can work on those things, but ultimately, you know, they can show up anywhere, not just the homepage, which is why the homepage is not the most important page on your site. Really, any page that your customer lands on, the landing page for your customer, is the most important page on your site. So as you're putting the principles into practice, I challenge you to kind of go out there, maybe grab your homepage and a few of your other top landing pages. Your homepage will probably be one of your bigger landing pages, but go through those pages, try to apply those principles, see what you can come up with, and measure those results. So thanks so much for checking out the show today, and until next time.